Hey there. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how our travel plans have changed since the beginning of the year, actually in mid-trip, and kind of what's in store for the rest of our 2024.
Yep, we're Joe and Michelle, the Wandering Hartz, and we're helping you live a more abundant life by traveling abroad.
So this is actually part of our Nomadic Abundance Podcast. It's one of those episodes that you can find on YouTube or elsewhere. So to start, we wanted to kind of go over originally what our plans were in March. If you remember seeing our video about our travel plans for 2024, and that was back at the beginning of March. And we basically talked about going to Albania and North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Romania, and then we were supposed to continue on to Turkey before we went over to Southeast Asia. Well, we've had to make some adjustments to our plans this year, and mostly due to a family emergency that hit really, really hard in my family that basically caused us to change our plans. So we're going to talk a little bit about that briefly, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that were really good that came out of this, as well as we'll finish up talking about what our new plans are for the rest of 2024, kind of taking us into the beginning of 2025. So first up, I want to talk a little bit about kind of what this emergency was. Essentially, at the end of April, we were in Albania. So it's kind of the first kind of leg of our trip. And I had received a call about my sister. And it turns out that she had 2 brain aneurysms, brain bleeds, as well as a stroke, like all at the same time. And so that was a really shocking thing to have happen, especially when you're thousands of miles away. And it, of course, creates a lot of feelings of obvious, not only fear and grief, but helplessness. And so that was a really challenging thing to deal with. I have to say that my sister is still alive. She survived and has been on a very difficult road to recovery ever since then. And so because of that, there was a really difficult decision we had to make too, is whether or not we were to continue traveling as we were and not change our plans, or if there was a way to change our plans somewhere along the way. We didn't really know. We didn't have a lot of information, especially when we were in Albania, because it was a very touch and go for the first like 4 or 5 weeks. So anyways, at the end, we decided to make the decision to return to the US. It was a matter of just trying to figure out what time was the best time for that. Now, if you are some of our newsletter subscribers, then you probably already know some of this, because we did talk about it a little bit in our newsletter. So you're probably at least aware of it. Now, before I go any further, I do want to say that my sister does have a GoFundMe, and her best friend set it up for her, and people have been helping to donate, and I know a lot of our newsletter subscribers have actually donated as well. And again, we haven't really talked about this publicly, so I'll just say this: if it's something that you can do, if you can help out, if you're in a position like that, then we'd appreciate it tremendously if you would take a look at her GoFundMe page and then see if there's something that you can help, or even just like share it with like anybody that you might know. We'll also be donating whatever proceeds we earn from Google AdSense or whatever, which is like the commercials that you see in the video. We'll be donating all of that as well. But based on the type of video this is, it'll probably just be like a couple dollars, because that's about how much, these videos make. But anyway, so ultimately we talked to my parents and the rest of my family. And at the end of it, we decided that we would continue our trip at least through Romania, which would put us to basically the end of September. And that is when we decided to come back to the States. We're actually filming this right now from our old stomping ground in Nashville, Tennessee. We've just been here for a few weeks, taking care of some things, and then also getting ready to go see my sister before we move on to continue our travel plans. So, yeah, that's that. So it does bring some other things up, and one of the things we wanted to talk about was how the community that we had in Saranda, Albania, was huge for us, and it was extremely helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really nice to have that. This was our second time going back there, so we'd already have friends who were living there, and then friends that we were meeting up with, like fellow nomads and travelers. So that was really important to us, and we, kind of opened up our eyes too on, I guess, just kind of what a great thing it is or a blessing it is to have such wonderful friends around you. We had a couple of friends who, made sure that we got out and did something, every weekend to kind of take our mind off of, some things for a day. So that was helpful, and it just made us feel, like we weren't alone or isolated. So we will be talking about kind of that in another future video about kind of how to build a community, as you're traveling, and try to connect with other nomads, travelers, expats, or locals in the destination that you're in, because it actually really did help us out a lot, and we're really, really thankful for all of those friends who supported us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like you're saying, it's not just about having the community of friends, not only just talking to them and building, making friends with people, but it's also about having a community when something like this happens. Yeah. When there is a tragedy or a personal, something you have to deal with, which is, I mean, we're human, so it's going to happen. It's inevitable that we're going to have these types of emergencies, either to ourselves or to our friends or family members. So having that community was extremely wonderful, because they also were supportive too, especially in those unexpected situations. Because as we're traveling, we're foreigners in a foreign land, and you don't have the communication skills, maybe you aren't there, and so you kind of really have to rely on the other people that you meet along the way who have similar, who are in a similar situation, and can really support you. Mm-hmm. So, and that kind of brings us to the next point, real quick, which is planning for emergencies. Yeah. Like I said, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. It will happen to you in your lifetime. Hopefully, it doesn't happen while you're on your travels. But if it does, we definitely recommend having some emergency funds set aside for that. And we'd say enough for flights, maybe a hotel, a car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. At least, at least to cover that, to get you back to your home country. If you need to go quickly, obviously those flights could be more expensive. More, yeah. If it's a last minute flight. So, we always we always have an emergency fund for that in case we need to get back.
Yes, we definitely highly recommend that. I wouldn't travel without it. Yeah. And part of that too is that what we do, and you can do whatever you like, but what we do is we have a separate bank account set to a checking. It's like a debit card that has our emergency funds in it. So we have a separate card and everything that we know is good to go, and we can start there and use that to begin with, to make sure that we're good to go. Another thing is, and this is going to be more for if you're traveling by yourself or with a partner, is making sure you have some kind of like a medical travel insurance. Mm-hmm. We use Safety Wing. Luckily, we haven't had a claim on that. We've been very fortunate so far. But we know we've got some friends that have used it and have actually had to make claims, and they've had some pretty good luck with it. Mm-hmm. So, but whether it's Safety Wing or any of the other ones, you definitely need to look around and see if it's what works best for you, because there's some differences, especially with age groups and things like that.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple others that have come up for travelers. So that's something that you'll definitely need to look into if you want to go off on this lifestyle.
Yeah, and with that, like that, what that would do in this scenario, it would have helped if something happened to one of us. It would help the other partner, to like get things sorted out, get us home, get us to a hospital, whatever it was. In the situation with like my sister, obviously that's not going to isn't going to help with that situation, but that's where your emergency fund does. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So now we've talked about that. Let's actually talk about what's next. So like I said, right now we're back in Nashville, Tennessee. We will be leaving here and heading to Phoenix, which is where my sister is, so we can get a chance to see her and support her. And then after that,
Yeah, then we
what are we
are
doing?
on to Southeast Asia finally. We're going to
Finally.
go to Thailand and we'll be there for 2 months. We've been trying to get there since 2020. So,
Well, earlier than that.
well, earlier.
We've been watching YouTube videos and reading blog articles and things like that for at least the last 8 years.
Yeah, but our plan was to go in 2020. So we all know what happened during that time. So that didn't work out. So, yeah, the last, I guess, 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
4 years. We've been, waiting for our time to go. So we'll be heading there, and we are actually going to be meeting up with friends there as well. So that's going to be really fun. We're excited about that. Super excited. This is our first time. We've never been to Southeast Asia. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we are going to go to Vietnam, and we'll be there for 3 months. And that will take us basically into 2025.
Yeah, well, the beginning of 2025 will be Vietnam. Yeah. So, another thing that's cool about that is that some of the same friends that we're meeting in Thailand are part of the same friends that we had in Saranda, and we also met up with in Bulgaria. So it's really cool because we've actually had that kind of community, that travel tribe that we'll talk about in another video a bit more maybe, but it's just really wonderful to be able to see the same people in multiple countries throughout the year and kind of make plans to be able to kind of check in with them. It's been very, very cool, and we're very, very happy about that this year. Beyond Vietnam, we don't really have any plans as of yet.
No, because
nothing solid.
Yeah, because they always change.
Yeah.
We said every single year we've been traveling, something's always changed.
Yeah.
Come up, or just kind of, I don't know, something's happened.
Yeah, we've had some kind of emergency situation have to deal, or some other big thing that has caused us to change things.
Yeah, so we don't try to plan too much in advance right now.
Thank you so much for watching this far. If you're watching this far, then obviously you are some of our most dedicated subscribers, and we really appreciate you a lot, and we appreciate you watching our videos, and hopefully we're giving you information that can help you in your own plans. So we really do appreciate that. You're kind of what makes us kind of keep going. So thank you. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, we found that you just have to be really flexible with these things and just expect the unexpected, because it's going to happen. But you also find that creating a good community along the way is invaluable and can benefit you in so many ways. Not just someone to go dinner with and have a conversation with, but also in a scenario where you might need some additional assistance, or they can help you kind of get through something like this. So we really appreciate that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to comment below if you have any other tips, or if you feel like compelled to share any of your experiences. Hopefully not really bad experiences, but just any other questions you might have about, I guess, our travel plans or planning in general. We'll try to answer as many as we can. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, if you're able, please consider donating to my sister's GoFundMe. Again, sharing the page, just to maybe to your friends and family, or if you can contributing to that as well. We'll leave links in the notes, and you can also scan this QR code on the screen as well. That will take you directly to her page, where you can kind of get a little bit more information about that. So we hope our experience will maybe give you some things to think about, and also help you navigate through unexpected travel plans, and also give you some things to consider, especially for an emergency situation. As always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Happy wandering. Happy wandering.